Genre: Expository Text. Wildfires by Seymour Simon. Essential question: how do teams work together? Read about wildfires. Find out what causes them and how emergency teams respond when they happen. Wildfires are scary. Flames leap from one tree to another. Sometimes they move faster than a person can run. Wildfires can be disasters. They burn trees, destroy homes, and cost human lives. But wildfires are not all harmful. They can help as well as hurt. Burning old trees lets small young trees grow. Some trees, such as giant sequoias, need fires to release their seeds. Wildfires are not endings, but part of the cycle of the natural world. How fires start. Heat causes fires. A flash of lightning can start a fire. So can an accidental spark from a campfire. A leaf starts burning. The heat sets fire to more leaves. The flaming leaves set fire to a branch. Then the whole tree is on fire. The heat sets fire to a nearby tree without even touching it. A huge, raging wildfire can be set ablaze by a flame from a careless match. Fires also need fuel and oxygen to burn. Dry wood or dry grasses are the fuel of wildfires. Oxygen is an invisible gas in the air around us. Wet wood rarely burns because the water keeps oxygen from getting to the fire. That's why water is splashed on fires to put them out. Lightning strikes a mountain in a wilderness area in Colorado. Wildfires are not all bad. It's only partly true that only you can prevent forest fires. Few wildfires are started on purpose. Lightning starts most wildfires in the western United States. Fires are natural in the wilderness. Complete wildfire prevention is not possible or wanted. Wildfires create openings in a forest for new trees and shrubs. Parts of burned trees turn to ash. Rain and snow carry the minerals in the ash back to the soil. Flowering plants grow in full sunlight of the new forest clearings. Cones from some pine trees release seeds only when they are heated. Even seeds and cones that fell 50 years earlier can grow after a fire. Some trees, such as the western larch, have thick barks that guard them from heat. These trees often survive many wildfires. Animals are not usually killed in wildfires. Most can run faster than the spreading flames. Birds and mammals eat the seeds they find in the clearings after a fire. Some plants grow quickly. They are food for animals that might otherwise starve. Many scientists say that wildfires are natural. The only question is when they will happen. Communities must learn how to deal with them. In areas with houses, teams of firefighters need to respond right away. They must bring the fires under control as quickly as possible. In wilderness areas, firefighters want to stamp out small fires quickly. Then leaves, dead branches, and twigs pile up on the forest floor. This provides fuel that feeds fire. One way to prevent huge wildfires is to let small fires burn out naturally. This firefighter protects people and property from harm. Stop and check. Ask and answer questions. Why does the author think that wildfires can be good? Reread pages 420 to 421 to find the answer. These firefighters are clearing away bushes to make a fire break in Northern California. California's burning. The spring and summer of 2008 were hot and dry in California. Almost no rain fell for 3 straight years. The spring was the driest on record for many places in the state. Trees and grasses were bone dry. On June 20 and 21, thunderstorms and lightning rolled on shore along the coast. Lightning started more than 2,000 wildfires. The fires covered much of Northern California with a thick blanket of smoke. The sky turned yellow. the moon turned red. Strong winds and high temperatures helped spread the flames. A heat wave began on July 7. Temperatures inland soared above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Weather Service gave fire danger warnings. By July 12, over 800,000 acres had burned. It was the largest bunch of wildfires in California history. More than 20,000 firefighters battled the blazes. Some teams used fire trucks, fire engines, water tankers, and bulldozers. Other teams used axes, picks, and shovels. Many teams carried water, foam, hoses, and pumps with them. They were fighting fires in places where there were no roads. Special tankers and helicopters dropped water onto the fires. Teams of smoke jumpers parachuted from helicopters to help on the fire lines. Fighting wildfires is very dangerous. It is hard to escape if the wind changes and the fires race toward you. The 2008 California wildfires caused the deaths of 23 people. Stop and check. Ask and answer questions. How did firefighters respond to the wildfire in California? Reread this page to find the answer. Working together. For many years, firefighters worked together to put out natural wildfires right away. But as fuel on the forest floor builds up, the wildfires become worse. So preventative fires are now used. For example, firefighters burn 1 million acres of grassland each year in Florida. This helps in the prevention of future out-of-control wildfires. Sometimes small teams of firefighters start fires. Using a piece of equipment called a drip torch, firefighters in Kings Canyon, California, set small blazes on purpose. The controlled blazes help to prevent large wildfires from starting. They burn away undergrowth and dead wood on the forest floor. Firefighters set a small fire to help prevent a bigger one. After a wildfire. When wildfires burn out, they leave green and black patches in forests. The green areas are not burned. The black burned areas quickly start to turn green. Fire beetles lay their eggs in newly charred logs. Ants and centipedes are busy even while the ground is still warm. Plants soon appear from roots and seeds that were there before the fire. Hawks spiral in the air. They hunt for small mammals in the open spaces. Woodpeckers drill for insects beneath the bark of blackened trees. The new grasses and wildflowers attract grazing animals. Small birds come from all over to catch insects in the fields. A few years after the 2008 wildfires, burned areas grew new plants. Young pine trees grew as tall as a person. Before the fire, towering older trees blocked sunlight. Only a few kinds of plants could grow in the deep shade. The wildfires allowed young plants to grow. Without wildfires, low-growing forest plants would die off completely. By about 50 years after a fire, the forest once again becomes mostly tall trees, such as pines. Smaller plants will die off on the shady forest floor. The cycle of burning and rebirth in nature continues. After a fire in this national park in Canada, trees and plants begin to grow again. Forests are reborn. 10 years after a wildfire, a forest is still renewing itself. Burned tree trunks lose their blackened bark and turn a mossy, silvery gray. Flowering meadows and small shrubs and trees grow in open fields in the forest. Burned areas slowly fade away. The length of time between natural wildfires depends on location and weather. In much of the West, wildfires may burn a forest every 200 or 300 years. However, in Florida's pine forests, wildfires occur every 7 to 10 years. In the cedar and spruce forests of Washington, 1,000 years can pass between wildfires. New trees and plants grow next to burned trees after a fire in Alberta, Canada. Questions still remain. We still have much to learn about managing wildfires. Which fires should we fight immediately? Which fires should we allow to burn naturally? Are there places in a forest where it is too dangerous to live? We have learned one thing. Wildfires are not all bad or all good. Fires are just a part of the endless cycle of nature. Stop and check. Summarize. What happens after a wildfire? Summarize what you learned in the section, Forests Are Reborn.